Hello, everybody. Welcome to Talk About House. I'm Todd.
I'm Juana.
Okay, we're going to talk about the F word, foreclosures.
Oh.
The foreclosures, there's new data out about not only the foreclosure rate, but the serious defaults, serious mortgage defaults, the number of loans in serious delinquency. So we'll start with a chart this time. We normally don't start with charts, but this is a chart. August of 2022, a year ago, 2.8% of all mortgages were in some form of default, from missing one payment to hadn't paid in months.
Right.
Okay. So 97.2% had made their payment. August 23, it dropped. It's less. It's getting better. It's improving. Only 2.6%. It is a 0.2% decrease year over year.
Right.
So why is that? Because the going consensus out there is it's getting harder and worse, and the foreclosures are coming because we're in this massive recession and nobody has a job. What's going on, Juana? Why is it getting better?
We're not in a massive recession. People have jobs.
Oh,
People's wages have been increasing. Whatever drama went on over the pandemic has resolved itself. And most people have mortgage payments that are lower than a rent payment for a comparable home.
And it's not even close. Here's a quote from the article. U.S. mortgage performance remained strong in August, supported by a robust job market and a healthy economy. However, this thriving job market comes at a time when interest rates are quickly rising, which is keeping many potential homebuyers from being able to secure a mortgage. So it's almost fixing the problem because you don't have people going out and getting loans because they can't qualify, can't afford. I mean, isn't the mortgage system working the way it's supposed to work, where if you're not qualified, you don't get a loan? And if you can make the payments, they give you a loan, right?
Right. And here's the thing. If somebody's not qualified and they do get a loan and they do buy a house, that hurts them. And it hurts a better qualified buyer because now that home is not available for them to purchase. So the system is actually working as it's supposed to, with allowing people who are well qualified to purchase homes and putting people who are not well qualified in rental homes until they are better qualified and capable of handling both the payment and the responsibility of home ownership.
Okay, here is the chart. The green is last year, the light green. The darker kind of bluish, weird color, whatever that is 2023, right? So the 30 days or more is the one we showed you. But if you go all the way to the 90 to 119 day past due, that 0.2% is actually the lowest ever recorded. That's more important because what you're seeing in this chart is, you see how the numbers, they decrease when they go from 30 days to 60 days to 90 days to after 90 days. Why do the numbers decrease when you go 30, 60, 90, 120?
So we've talked about this before. At every step of the process, those numbers half because people get caught up, people make other arrangements, they sell the home, something happens to where the loan is brought current or it's extinguished. So at every step of the process, that number is half. That's why by the time you get to the very end to the actual foreclosure, there are very few foreclosures.
Not only that, at the very over there all the way, it says 0.3% in foreclosure. Does in foreclosure mean those houses are all getting foreclosed?
Absolutely not.
What does in foreclosure mean?
They're somewhere in that process.
How long does that process take, first of all, on average?
So it's taking about 1,000 days, and there are places in the country where it's taking longer.
Okay. Yeah. So if a notice of default is filed, it's in foreclosure, even though that's the first of years of notices that have to go. And they could file numerous notice of default. Sometimes the notices themselves are a joke because they'll file multiple notice of defaults because they have to reset the timeline.
Right.
Because there has to be you have to do that notice of trustee sale and that other, at least in Nevada.
Right.
Okay, here's a quote. Here's another quote for the article. U.S. serious mortgage delinquency rate drops to the lowest level since 1999. When we say ever recorded, it's because 1999 was the first year they recorded them. They actually didn't record these nationally. So this is when they started recording them. The share of U.S. mortgages that fell into serious delinquency, which is considered 90 days or more late, representing buyers who are 3 months late on payments, dropped to the lowest level in 25 years in August at 0.9%. Nationwide overall mortgage delinquencies and foreclosures also remain near historic lows, a clear sign that most U.S. homeowners can currently cover their monthly payments. Low. So, Juana, how often are you surfing YouTube or doing research for an article and you see the foreclosures are coming videos from the Crash Bros with ridiculous anecdotal information of a house in Vegas in foreclosure that's not really in foreclosure and that they did a price change on it and it didn't sell in like the first week? So it must be terrible things in Vegas.
So honestly, I see it a lot, and sometimes I do stop what I'm doing and I do take a peek and research it a little bit. And most of the time, it's not what they're saying. Most of the time, it's just a lot of smoke and no fire.
Here's a cool chart I'm going to show you. Serious delinquency rate. This is the 10 states with the highest delinquency rate. This is all delinquencies. New York has the highest, 1.9%. Ohio, 1.2% is down there. I don't see Nevada on this list. But Juana, we have the highest rate of foreclosures in the nation, which is basically none because we have about 150 a year. And we have 150 foreclosures in Vegas in a whole year. 2% of the state of New York is delinquent. Why do we lead in foreclosures when we really don't have foreclosures?
I think just they may be looking at it maybe as a percentage.
It's a percentage. It's percentage.
Something along those lines. But I think part of it is, I think the media likes to beat up on Nevada, to be honest with you.
How about how easy it is to file? What if a house has 3 NODs filed it in 3 years? Doesn't that triple count it as a foreclosure?
Well, it counts every time it's filed.
Didn't you see it? Didn't you look at a house that had numerous NODs filed it over many years?
Yeah.
But it was still hadn't been actually foreclosed. The owner still owned it and they were selling it.
Not only that, but it wasn't a distressed sale because they had equity and they had brought the property current.
Oh, and they brought it current. So you get an NOD filed, you call the bank, you get your house current. It's still counted as a foreclosure filing.
Right.
And then 2 or 3 months later, you get late again. They file notice of default. You get current. It's 2 foreclosure filings. Mm-hmm. Okay. And Nevada is the easiest state to file and notice of default.
Right.
Okay. Here is another very cool chart. Serious delinquencies on a decline. This shows you just January 22 to today. These are Fannie and Freddie loans that are they're originated through Fannie and Freddie, and this pretty much tells the tale. That even you would think this was getting worse because of interest rates. Oh my God, Todd! Now the interest rates at 7% is going to cause foreclosures. Where are they? Because we're not seeing them. We're not seeing the delinquencies. You have to have delinquencies before you get foreclosures, right?
You do. And look, I think. Do I think that these numbers are going to change over time? And the short answer is yes. And part of the reason why I think that's going to change over time is because lenders are putting a lot of other more exotic mortgage programs out there. And the more exotic they get, I think the more there's the possibility of these products being in default. So I'm not fond of exotic mortgage products for that reason. I think that there's a place for them. I think that for the right borrower, they make a lot of sense. The issue is that it's not always the right borrower participating with those programs.
Okay. This is the reason right here why there's no foreclosures. This is the distribution of rates on when it says outstanding mortgages. That just means mortgages that haven't been paid off. Mm-hmm. Mortgages that are out there. This isn't delinquent mortgages. It's just anyone who has a mortgage. What's interesting is the highest percentage is like that 2.875, just under 3%, right? Mm-hmm. Actually, when you look at this chart, what's really amazing, if you go all the way right, only about 2% of all mortgages are over 7%.
Right.
So these people freaking out that the crash bros who are trying to paint every mortgage is now this super high amount is wrong. Actually, over half of all mortgages are under 4%, 4% or less. Mm-hmm. 4% or less, half. But remember, 42% of all homes are free and clear. Mm-hmm. So they're not getting foreclosed. They own the house free and clear. The 4% people aren't getting, actually almost none of these people are getting foreclosed. That's why foreclosure rates are the lowest ever.
Right. Plus remember, 25% of homes being purchased currently are being purchased cash.
Right. And then people are buying down rates, mm-hmm. or they're putting so much money down, even if they have a 7.5% rate, they're like, I don't care. The cost of money is 5%. I can get 5% in the money market, so I'm borrowing it at 7.5 or 7.25 8 or whatever, but I just put 500,000 down on the house, so my payment would be less. I don't care if I'm borrowing. It's like 7%. We would have laughed 30 years ago at people freaking out over 7%. We'd have been like, why are they that low? Aren't they 11% or 12% or something? How are they 7%? That's crazy. That's almost free money.
Right.
7%. Let me see if I have any more charts here. I don't have any more charts. Okay. Juana, I'm going to give you the final word. I predict, my prediction, that it is going to be a hellacious long time. I think that this is a new normal because of all the homes owned cash, all the homes with a ton of equity. They can't be foreclosed because they have way more equity. We know that nationally, less than 1% of all homes are upside down. Nationally, less than 1%, meaning they have more equity than they have loan on them. Mm-hmm. And with most people having extremely low interest rates, there might be some people get foreclosed because they died and their payments stopped being made. But this thing where we're going to have mass foreclosures, that crash housing, I 100% would not rely on.
Right. I mean, all things being equal, nothing crazier than what we've already been through happening. There's nothing on the horizon that would indicate a lot of distressed properties. So look, we all make decisions based on imperfect information. We don't know what the future brings, because if we did, we would have all bought Bitcoin 20 years ago. But
no, it wasn't 20 years ago. You could have bought it in 2009, I think, on Mt. Gox or something. So, yeah, we'd have bought a bunch of Bitcoin. Angel invested in Uber and Airbnb.
My point is made. So we do have imperfect information, but based on the information that we do have, what we see is a stable housing market going forward for the foreseeable future. I know it's not exciting and sexy, but that's just the way it is. And I've said this since the beginning of the year. 2023 is going to be kind of a big yawn, nothing really exciting happening. I don't think there's going to be a whole lot more excitement in 2024. I think there's going to be the potential for more excitement in 2024, since there's so much pent-up hope for the rates to go down, and that also piggybacks on the election. I think that's just going to be a lot of hype and very little action, but that's just me. What do you think? Leave us comments and tell us what you think 2024 will bring. In the meantime, we thank you for watching. Please remember to subscribe, hit the notification bell, share the video, leave us your real estate related comments, and we'll see you on the next video. Bye.
Bye.